Hello, my name is Reagan Eggers, and I am here to teach you a 60-minute vinyasa flow class for my Karma Yoga teacher training series with my vinyasa practice. For class today, you'll probably need 2 blocks. I always just suggest having them. I don't have anything specifically planned, but it's really helpful just to bring the ground a little closer to you, lengthen your arms, things like that. So it's a helpful tool to always have on your mat or near your mat. If you don't have blocks, you can use books or pillows, perhaps, that just kind of create a little bit more space in your body. I'm going to do my very best to teach you a slow flow class today. Just some context, slow flow, we will move through postures or asanas with using our breath to guide us. Oftentimes, for me personally, moving slow is a lot harder than moving quickly. So it'll take some time to slow down our breath, slow down our thoughts, slow down our body, and just be present on our mat. So again, I'll lead you through some asanas or postures and guided breath work. And of course, if there's anything in class that we do today that you aren't comfortable with, don't want to do, aren't feeling it today, definitely feel free to just adjust, take care of your body as needed. I'll offer variations and adjustments throughout the class as well. All right, that being said, we're going to meet on our mat today in child's pose. So bring your big toes together to touch. Let your knees splay out wide, and then lay over your thighs or your open knees. Place your forehead on the mat and start to reach your fingertips towards the front of your space. I'll start to practice with you guys, and I might move in and out of postures, but please feel free to stay in child's pose at this moment, and I will guide you out of it when it's time. All right, so child's pose is where we begin. Like I said, big toes together to touch, knees out wide. Sit your hips back to your heels and reach those arms out towards the front of your space. Start to breathe here. Stay in child's pose. I'm just going to guide you through it so that you can hear me. You can have your knees out wide, or bring your knees a little closer together, support your belly. Knees out wide might feel a little bit more of a stretch on your back. Knees close together might feel a little different for your low back. So just play with that and see what feels best for you. Wherever you are, start to deepen your breath. Lengthen your inhales and your exhales. Maybe you start to close your eyes, soften your gaze, shift your attention inside. One point of focus that I love when I'm moving slowly is my breath. Just watching my breath as I inhale, your breath rises up to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, you watch your breath sink down your spine all the way to your low belly. You can kind of use your breath as a grounding point throughout class. So if ever you feel like we're doing too much, or we're not moving fast enough, or whatever it is for you, you can come back to your breath. Like I said at the beginning of class, a lot of times I just am going a million miles an hour in the day, so it's so hard for me to just intentionally slow down. When I lay down at night to go to sleep, my mind is still moving a million miles an hour, and so something simple to do is just breathe. Just watch your inhale rise up the base of your spine. And as you exhale, it falls back. So your mind kind of shifts away from all the chatter, all the monkey mind, what we call in yoga the chitta vritti, and moves into your own deeper self. From child's pose, we'll walk our hands over to the right. So place your left hand on top of your right hand rather. Keep your hips about where they are. We're just gonna sit back a little bit deeper so you stretch across the side of your body. No rush. We're gonna walk our hands back to center. and move over to the left. So this time your right hand sets on top of your left hand. Sit your hips back, stretch across the right side of your body. Slowly make your way back to center. Place your forehead down on the mat, and we're just gonna rock our forehead left to right. So massaging your forehead on your mat. On your next inhale, we're gonna press the mat away with our hands. Maybe you make little tents with your fingers, lift the palms off of the mat. As you inhale, we're gonna come up to a tabletop position, all fours. So your wrists are stacked right under your shoulders, your knees are stacked right under your hips. Lengthen the crown of your head forward. Our tendency is to look straight ahead. See if you can look down at that space between your hands. Your tailbone lengthens back towards the back of your space. Press the tops of your feet onto the mat. See if you can get your ankles onto the mat so your shins are really firmly rooted in the earth. Take a big inhale here, and as you exhale, we're gonna round our spine up towards the ceiling for cat pose. Tuck your chin into your chest. Press your shoulder, that space between your shoulder blades up towards the ceiling. As you inhale, drop your belly, lift your gaze. Cow pose. Exhale for cat, round your spine, tuck your chin. Inhale. And you move with your breath. So slow and steady, cats and cows, warming up your spine. If you would like to take some spine circles here, please feel free to do so. You move your ribs over to the right, over to the left, and up and down. So you're just kind of rotating your belly around a big, I guess, imaginary something. All right, that's weird. What feels really good to me is to stay in that cat position and just move my shoulders left and right. So find what feels good to you and practice that movement. And that may change from day to day. But our goal here on the mat is to really tune into what we need and what feels good in our body so that we have the space and energy to take care of ourselves. On your next exhale, you find your neutral position. So again, lengthen the crown of your head forward, your tailbone straight back. We're gonna take our right hand, point our fingers towards the back of our space. So if I was to draw a line, my wrist would align in one space. So from here, we're just gonna take a few more cats and cows. Just noticing the stretch across your wrist. You can point the eye of your elbow, that bendy part of your elbow, forward towards the front of your space. That would be great. Nice. Next time you're in neutral position, stay there. Rotate your right fingers back towards the front of the mat. Left fingers rotate back towards your knees. Your wrists are aligned here. You inhale for cat, or for cow rather, exhale for cat. The eyes of your elbows are pointed forward, and you're just using your breath. Again, if it feels good to take circles, go for it. It's a little different stretch in your arms. And the next time you find yourself in neutral position, we're gonna rotate those left fingertips back towards the front of your mat. This time we're gonna take our right fingers, place them towards our knees, but this time palm faces up. So the back of your hand is on the mat. Again, one line from your wrist to your wrist. So from here, we're just gonna do a little bit of shoulder flossing. So you press the mat away and then drop your heart a little closer to the mat. Inhale and exhale. It's a big stretch across the back side of your wrist. Beautiful, it feels good. You can shake your hand out. I'm gonna place our right fingers back towards the top of our mat. This time left hand points back towards your knee, palm faces up, and just floss those shoulders. So finding your, scapular area, squeezing them together, and then pressing them apart. Breathe into the stretch on the back of your wrist. Nice. And then we'll press both hands down to the mat. And feel free to come back to your knees, shake out your wrists. You can roll them in circles. Sometimes that feels really good, especially after stretching them out so much. Beautiful. From here, we're going to come back to tabletop. Tuck your toes, lift your knees an inch or two off the mat, hold and breathe here. Just take a moment to find the length of your spine. Notice your core starting to engage. On your next inhale, we'll press those hips up and back for downward facing dog. First downward facing dog class, feel free to pedal out your legs, bend your right knee, bend your left knee. And we breathe here. So just take a moment to stretch your back. Find some length in the sides of your body. Even in this inverted position, can you see if you can trace your breath up and down your spine? Nice. On your next inhale, we're going to lift the right leg high, hold and breathe here in this 3-point pose. Your shoulders are square to the earth, your hips are square to the earth. Take one more big breath in. And as you exhale, we're going to lift the leg a little higher, open your hips towards the right of your space. Maybe you bend your knee. Feel free to take some ankle rolls here. And from here, we're going to take big hip circles. So knee out to the side, close to your belly, and then back towards the back of your space. So just rotating your femur bone in your hip socket, your big thigh bone, noticing what you notice, and breathing through any discomfort. When you're ready, we'll switch directions. So rotating the opposite way. Nice. Inhale, you come back to your 3-point pose, square those hips down to the earth. Place your right foot next to your left foot. Bend your knees, come down to a seated position. Place your hands on your thighs, palms up or palms down. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. Allow your shoulders to release and relax. And on your next inhale, we'll find ourselves in that tabletop position once again. Tuck your toes, lift your knees just an inch or two off the mat. Find a hovering tabletop. Engage your core muscles. Press the mat away. Strong shoulders, eyes of your elbows point forward. As you inhale, start to lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Option to pedal it out here or just keep a still, static downward facing dog. This time we'll inhale, lift that left leg high, 3-point pose. See if you can square your shoulders, square your hips down to the earth. As you breathe, you watch your air inhale up your spine and exhale back down to your belly. A slow and steady, no rush. We're gonna open our hip up towards the left, bend your knee. Maybe you take some circles with your ankle if you did so on the other side. Beautiful. And we'll take those big hip circles, so knee out to the side, around towards the front, and then back up and towards the right. So just rotating, opening up that big hip joint. Wherever you are, we'll reverse the direction. Beautiful. We'll come back to our 3-point pose, hips square to the earth. As you exhale, you set your left foot down by your right. Bend your knees, look forward, slow and steady, one tiny step at a time. We're going to walk ourselves up to a forward fold. So no rush to get there. Your feet are about hips width distance apart. Let your head be heavy. Again, our tendency here is to look forward.
See if you can look straight behind you. You can keep your hands on the mat if that feels good. Palms face up, kind of stretch those wrists again. You can also interlace your hands at your elbow creases and sway from side to side. If it feels good, you can shake your head. Yes, yes. No, no. Again, our goal here is just slowing down, creating steady breath. From here, we're going to place our hands on the mat, heel toe, your big toes together to touch. Your heels are about an inch or two apart. We're going to roll up one vertebrae at a time. Take your time, let it be slow and juicy. Round your spine, kind of like cat pose, all the way up to a standing position. So your head comes up last, palms face forward, ground down through your feet, and lengthen up through the crown of your head. We're gonna rock weight into our toes. So you lift your heels slightly off the mat, rock weight into your heels, lift your toes off the mat. And you just kind of rock back and forth, noticing what it feels like to tip forward and backward until you find your center. So when you found your center, press your feet firmly into the earth. Maybe you lift and spread your toes. And then you lift the arches of your feet. Let that engage your thighs. And then from your thighs, engage your belly. From your belly, you roll your shoulders down and lengthen the crown of your head up. So really strong mountain pose here. On your next inhale, we're gonna reach our arms out to the side, up overhead. Our palms meet at the top, gaze up at your palms. As you exhale, you draw those prayer hands down to center. Take a moment here to set an intention for class, if you would like to. It can simply be slowing down, taking a moment to recenter. It can be anything you want it to be. So take a moment to consider why you showed up to class today, what brought you to your mat, and how you can use that as an intention for class. Nice. On your next inhale, we'll reach those arms down to the side, up and out overhead, palms meet at the top. Maybe you take a little baby back bend this time, looking up at your palms, reach your heart up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, we'll fold forward. So starting to move through our sun salutations, inhale, halfway lift, you lengthen your spine. So hold and breathe here for just a moment. Find a long, straight spine, not looking forward, looking straight down, remembering that the back of your neck is part of your spine as well. Send your tailbone straight back towards the back of your space and the crown of your head forward. Strong, grounded feet. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, we'll fold forward. Nice, you guys. Inhale one more time, halfway lift, long, straight spine. Exhale, we'll plant those hands. Step your left foot back. Step your right foot back. We're in a high plank position. Hold and breathe. So in high plank, we want our shoulders right over our wrists. We're going to press the mat away with our hands. Hug in your low belly. We're not going to pike up and we're not going to sag. So we really want to find a straight, strong spine. Lots of energy from the heels all the way to the crown of your head. Take one more big breath here. As you exhale, we're going to lower down to the count of 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice, you guys. Untuck your toes. Place the tops of your feet onto the mat, preparing for cobra pose. So your fingers are right at the tips of your shoulders. As you inhale, you lift your heart. Use your back muscles here, little to no weight in your hand. Take one breath in. As you exhale, we'll lower down, pressing up through tabletop or plank. So you'll retuck your toes, press all the way up to plank posture. Send your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Nice. Inhale, right leg lifts, find that 3-point pose. Exhale, step your right foot in between your hands, low lunge. We're gonna drop our back knee, untuck your back toes. Inhale, lift those arms up and overhead, kneeling warrior. Take one breath in here. As you exhale, place those hands around your front foot. Tuck your left toes and your right foot back to meet your left. We're gonna lower all the way down to our belly. Untuck your toes, tops of your feet on the mat. Inhale, lift your heart for cobra pose. Exhale, you lower down. Nice, strong, slow, steady lift up to plank. Send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts this time. As you exhale, we're gonna step that foot between your hands. Right away, drop your right knee, untuck your toes. Inhale, reach those arms up and overhead, kneeling warrior. On your exhale, we'll frame our front foot. Retuck your back toes. Send your left foot back to meet your right. Slow and steady, lower all the way down. Inhale for cobra pose. Exhale, lower down. Inhale for plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. This time we'll inhale, come to your toes, lift your heels up the mat, step forward to forward fold. You can also float if floating is in your practice. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, you fold forward. Beautiful. Inhale, reach those arms up and overhead, palms meet at the top. Maybe you take a baby back bend here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, place your hands. This time, left foot steps back. Right foot steps back to meet it. Slow and steady. 4, 3, 2, 1. You lower to the earth. Untuck your toes. Inhale, lift your heart. Cobra pose. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes. Inhale, up to plank. Exhale brings you to downward facing dog. Again, right leg lifts, 3-point pose. Exhale, hug your knee into your chest, step all the way through low lunge. Drop your left knee, untuck your left toes. Inhale, you reach up, kneeling warrior. Exhale, hands find the mat. Retuck your left toes, step your right foot back to meet it. Lower all the way down. Beautiful. Inhale, lift your heart. Cobra pose. Exhale, lower down. Tuck those toes, press all the way up to plank. Send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step that foot between your hands, low lunge. Drop your back knee. Inhale, reach those arms up and overhead. Exhale, hands frame your front foot. Step your left foot back to meet your right. High plank. Lower down to your belly for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice. Inhale, halfway lift. Not halfway lift. Cobra pose. Exhale, lower down. Press all the way up to plank. Send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come to your toes, lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward. Step right float to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, you fold. Inhale, reach those arms up and overhead, palms meet at the top. As you exhale, draw those prayer hands down to heart center. Take a big breath in here and a big breath out. Just notice how you feel after moving for a few minutes. I'm going to take a few very simple sun salutations. So just moving in and out of arms up and forward fold. So mountain and forward fold. Inhale, reach those arms up and overhead. Palms meet at the top. Exhale, you fold forward, straight spine as you go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, you fold forward. Inhale, straight spine. We're going to reach those arms back out to the side, up overhead. Palms meet at the top. As you exhale, draw your hands through heart center and you fold forward. Nice. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, you come up with a straight spine. Mountain pose, gaze up at those palms. Exhale, you fold forward. Nice. So you're moving with your breath here. Slow and steady. Nothing too challenging, hopefully. But our goal here is just to find one breath to one movement. So moving slowly, you have to lengthen your inhales and exhales. And allow this to be a moving meditation to recenter yourself before we get into our sun salutation B. Nice. We'll finish whatever round that you're on. Keep in mind, as I'm just talking through these postures, your practice does not have to be perfect. It's a practice. My practice is not perfect. As you exhale, we'll draw those hands down to heart center. So if ever I leave you in a place where you are moving in your own independent way, know that it doesn't have to be exactly what I said. It can be whatever you need or any variation of what I said. Beautiful. Take a moment to recall your intention. For me, it's slowing down, breathing intentionally. Nice. On your next inhale, we'll reach those, actually we'll find chair pose. So we're gonna sit our hips back towards our heels. So your feet should be in the correct position. Bend your knees, shift your hips back. So as much as you can, you're gonna stack your knees over your ankles. As you inhale, we're gonna reach those arms up and overhead. Breathe in here. So hug in your low belly. I say this over and over, but lengthen from the crown of your head all the way to your tailbone. Take one big breath in here. As you exhale, we'll fold forward. Beautiful. Inhale, halfway lift. We'll exhale, plant those hands, step back to your high plank pose. Hold and breathe here for just a moment. We're gonna shift forward into chaturanga. I'll show you how. So I'm gonna shift my weight forward so I'm on my toes. This time my shoulders are forward up my wrist, and I'm gonna bend my elbows just 90 degrees. So I don't wanna go much lower than that. You want your shoulders to be lower than your elbows. As I inhale, I'm gonna roll over the tops of my toes, keep my legs engaged off of the mat, lift my heart. As I exhale, I'm gonna send my hips up and back. Nice, so for chaturanga, just keep in mind you want your shoulders above your elbows. We're trying to find a 90-degree bend. And for upward facing dog, our legs are engaged off of the mat. Inhale, we'll find that 3-point pose. Beautiful. As you exhale, we're gonna hug our knee into our chest. Step that foot lightly in between your hands. If you need to take multiple steps, please do so. Ground down through your back heel, preparing for warrior one. Inhale, lift those arms up and overhead. Breathe in here and breathe out. So for warrior one, as much as possible, you want your hips to be facing the front of the room. You want your front knee right over your front ankle. And then your back foot is at a 45-degree angle. You press down through the pinky edge side of your back foot. If you have your balance, maybe you lift and spread your toes. Let that engagement trickle all the way up towards your hands. Take one more breath here. As you exhale, we'll find warrior two. So rotate towards the side of your mat. Rebend your front knee. Lengthen and equal in opposite directions. Beautiful. Wherever you are, you breathe. As you inhale, we're gonna place the front hand palm face up, lengthen forward, and use that to lift up and back into your reverse warrior. So big stretch across the side of your body. Maybe you visualize space between each one of your ribs. And as you exhale, we'll find side angle. Bring your right elbow to your right knee. Inhale, left arm up and over your left ear. So again, maybe you visualize lots of space being created in the side of your body. Beautiful. And you inhale, come back up to warrior two. And as you exhale, we're gonna cartwheel our hands around our front foot, step back to high plank, lower down through chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, come to your toes, lift your heels, bend your knees, step or float to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, you fold forward. Inhale for chair pose, sit your weight back onto your hips. Inhale, reach your arms up and overhead. Beautiful. And breathe here. Maybe you sit a little bit deeper, maybe you shift your hips back a little further. Make micro adjustments for what works for your body. Inhale, come to standing. As you exhale, you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back, high plank. Lower down through chaturanga. Inhale for upward facing dog, strong legs here. Exhale for downward facing dog, beautiful. Inhale, your left leg lifts, slow and steady. Exhale, you step your left foot in between your hands. Ground down through your back heel, preparing for warrior one. Reach those arms up and overhead. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. On your next exhale, we'll open up to warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Beautiful. Big side body stretch here. As you exhale, left elbow, left knee, right arm up and over your ear. Breathe in and breathe out. Inhale brings you back up to warrior two. So you exhale, you cartwheel your hands around your front foot. Step back to high plank. Lower down through chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Nice. So we'll move through that a little bit quicker. I'm gonna come down to my knees, you stay in downward facing dog. A little bit quicker. So we'll try to do one breath to one movement. Focus here on long, steady breaths. So oftentimes in vinyasa class, we get going so fast, it's really hard. It's easy to lose track of your breath. It's easy to get lost. And so what I want to do is really focus on connecting breath to movement, really focused on full, deep, centering breaths and slow flow. All right, so from downward facing dog, inhale, right leg lifts. As you exhale, you step that foot between your hands, low lunge. Inhale brings you up to warrior one. Big breath in. Big breath out brings you to warrior two. Slow down. Inhale for reverse warrior. Almost like you're moving in slow motion. Exhale brings you to a side angle. Inhale brings you back to warrior two. At the top of your inhale, you should find the peak pose. As you exhale, you cartwheel your hands around your front foot, step back to high plank. Lower down through chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg lifts. Left leg lifts rather. Exhale, step that foot between your hands, low lunge. Inhale for warrior one. Exhale for warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Inhale for warrior two. Exhale, hands frame your front foot. Step back to high plank. Lower down through chaturanga. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Again, inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step your foot between your hands. Drop your back heel. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse. Exhale, side angle. Beautiful breath, beautiful movement. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, hands frame your front foot. Step back to high plank. Lower through chaturanga. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step your foot between your hands, low lunge. Inhale for warrior one. Exhale for warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale, side angle. Inhale, come back to warrior two. Exhale, hands frame your front foot, step back to high plank. Lower down through chaturanga. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. I'm gonna drop our knees down to the mat, sit your hips back onto your heels. Place your hands on your thighs, palms up or palms down. Just take a moment to breathe. Take a moment to notice your heartbeat. Notice any sensations or feelings that are coming up for you. And just be present. Nice. From here, we'll shift into our tabletop position. Tuck your toes, lift your heels, come into your downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. As you exhale, you step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, you fold. Sit your weight back into your chair position. So slowly peel your heart up. Sit deeply. Take a big inhale here. As you exhale, we're gonna find a chair twist. Right arm forward, left arm back. See if you can keep your knees in alignment. So you might have to pull that left knee back, or right knee back rather. You can look back towards your left hand if that feels comfortable for your neck. And look straight ahead. Notice what you need here. Inhale brings you back to center. Exhale, chair twist the other direction. Beautiful. Inhale brings you back to center. As you exhale, we'll fold forward. We'll keep moving through our Sun B series. I'll add a couple changes as we go. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step back to high plank. Exhale, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale for upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Bend your knee, open your hip. Option here to take a big hip circle if that feels good in one direction. Maybe you take that circle in the opposite direction. As you exhale, we're gonna square your hips, step forward to low lunge. Drop your back heel, inhale for warrior one. Beautiful. Exhale for warrior two. Nice. Inhale, reverse your warrior. This time we'll take triangle. So we're gonna straighten that front knee. Reach your arm forward towards the front of your space. Tick-tock your arms so that they're at 6 and 12 o'clock. And breathe here. You can square your hips towards the side of your mat. Lengthen through the left and the right side of your body. Option here, if you want a little bit of a challenge, you can extend your bottom arm towards the front of your space, using your strong core muscles to hold you up. Beautiful. Start to rebend your front knee, lift yourself back up to warrior one. Inhale for star pose, heels in, toes out, reach those arms up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, we'll fold forward for wide-legged forward fold. So point the toes towards the long edge of your mat and fold your body forward. The crown of your head comes a little bit closer to your mat. Your tailbone points straight up towards the ceiling. Inhale, halfway lift. Lengthen your spine. As you exhale, we're gonna walk our hands towards the front of your mat, low lunge. From here, we're gonna find side plank. So I'm gonna ground down through my left hand. Option here to come down to your knee if that feels better for you. And then I'm slowly and steadily gonna step my right foot to meet my left. Stack my feet on top of each other. So I'm balancing on the pinky edge side of my left foot, reach my right arm up towards the ceiling. Again, if it feels good to come down to your knee, please take care of yourself and do so. Nice. As you exhale, we'll come back to high plank position. I'm gonna find our knees on the mat so you're in your tabletop position. Again, ground down through that left hand. Inhale, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, we're gonna thread the needle. So you place, you thread your right hand underneath your left armpit. Place your right ear on the mat. Maybe you extend your left arm towards the front of your space and you breathe here. If you can, you have your knees right under your hips. It may mean you need to adjust just a little bit. Another option here, if you need a little bit deeper stretch, you can take that left arm and wrap it up and around your back. And we'll slowly unwind. Place your left hand down by your right. Place your right hand back on your mat so you're in your tabletop position. Tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Nice, inhale, come to your toes. As you exhale, you bend your knees, step to the top of your mat, forward fold. Inhale, halfway left, lengthen. Exhale, you fold forward, preparing for chair pose. Sit your hips back. Your knees are over your ankles and lift your arms up towards the ceiling. Beautiful. We're gonna take another twist. Option to do exactly what we did on the last side. Otherwise, you can bring your hands to heart center. I'm gonna hook my right elbow on the outside of my left elbow. Open your heart. And breathe. Again, see if you can square your knees towards the top of your mat. You might need to pull your right knee a little bit back. Inhale, come back to center. As you exhale, we're gonna twist in the opposite direction. Inhale brings you back to center. Find your chair pose. As you inhale, reach those arms up and overhead. Exhale, you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hand, step back to high plank. Lower down through chaturanga. Upward facing dog. And downward facing dog. Left leg lifts, 3-point pose. Bend your knee, open your hip. Option to stay here if you'd like. You can take a few hip circles. We'll square our hips down to the mat. Step your right foot or left foot in between your hands, low lunge. Drop your back heel, inhale for warrior one. Exhale, warrior two. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Exhale for triangle. So we're gonna reach towards the front of your space. If you need to shorten your stance, please do so. And then tick-tock your arms so that they're at 6 and 12 o'clock. You can place your hand on your shin. If it feels good, you can place your hand on a block. And you breathe here. Your next inhale brings you back up to star pose, heels in, toes out, arms reach up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, wide-legged forward fold. Point those toes towards the long edge of your mat. Bring the crown of your head a little closer closer to the earth, in between your legs. Big breath in, big breath out. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen your spine. Exhale, walk your hands towards the short edge of your mat. Find your low lunge. We're gonna take a side plank here. Place your right hand down. We're gonna move this left foot towards the back of our mat. If you need to help it along, if you need to take a couple steps, please go for it. You're gonna stack your right foot on top of your left foot. Open your left arm up towards the ceiling. Press the mat away. Option here to come down to your knee if that feels good. I'm more supportive for you. Wherever you are today, honor that. Breathe into that space. I have to remind myself that I can't do everything. And I can do a lot of things. I can do a lot of things much better and more intentionally if I slow down. Just slow down a little bit. Take one more big breath here. As you exhale, we're gonna find both hands on the mat. Come to your tabletop position. I'm gonna take that, thread the needle on the other side. So we'll expand across our chest, lift your left hand up. And as you exhale, thread your left hand underneath your right armpit. This time your left ear is on the mat. Hand options here, right arm forward, right arm around your back. And you rest. Nice. Place your right hand back down to the earth. Left hand comes up to meet it. Tabletop position, tuck your toes, lift your heels, send your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step that foot between your hands. Prepare for a warrior three. Option here to have blocks. So you're grounded, warrior three, or you can balance. You're gonna ground down through this right foot, start to peel your left foot off of the earth. So just creating some balance in our body. Send energy out through the back of your heel, all the way through the crown of your head. Bring your hands to heart center if you'd like to balance. You can send your hands towards the back of the room. If you want a challenge today, you reach forward towards the front of your space. I'm gonna stay grounded. And you breathe. Nice. We're gonna come up to a standing position. Let our left foot just kind of pass through, preparing for eagle. We're gonna bend our left knee, wrap your left thigh on top of your right thigh. Maybe you hook your ankle. You can also just use your foot as a kickstand here. You're gonna identify your left arm, wrap it underneath your right, and then you sit weight back into your hips. Eagle posture. Beautiful. Inhale comes, unwrap your legs. Inhale, arms up and overhead. As you exhale, you fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, you step straight back to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg lifts. Exhale, step that foot between your hands, low lunge. Ground down through your blocks. Really strong and steady in this left leg. We're gonna start to peel our right leg off of the mat for warrior three. Options to take a balance. Maybe you reach your hands towards the back of the space. If you reached your hands forward on the right side, I'll encourage you to do the same on this side as well. Just like that, I'm gonna stay grounded on my blocks. Inhale, come all the way up to a standing position. This time your right thigh wraps around your left thigh for eagle position. Your right hand wraps underneath your left hand and you sit deeply into your eagle pose. We'll slowly unwind, come to a standing position. If it feels good, you can shake out your legs. Nice. And then rock weight forward into your toes, back into your heels, until you find your center. That might look a little bit different for everyone. Lengthen your arms down to the earth. Roll your shoulders up to your ears and then press them back down. Inhale, reach those arms out to the side, up overhead, your palms meet at the top. Exhale, draw those prayer hands down to your heart center. Take a moment to close your eyes, soften your gaze, recall your intention. Beautiful. We'll inhale, reach those arms up overhead one more time. And as you exhale, we're gonna crouch and curl. So for crouch and curl, essentially you slowly lower your heels or your rear down to your heels and pull your heels off of the mat and then slowly set them down to the mat. It's a lot of balance here. Wrap your hands around your knees, hug your chin to your chest, maybe your forehead touches your knees, and then you curve your spine towards the back of your space. Inhale, unwind. I'm gonna sit all the way down on the mat, however you need to get there. Place the soles of your feet onto the mat. Knees point up towards the ceiling. Your feet are about hips width distance apart. We're gonna place our hands right behind us like kickstand. Your fingers can point straight back or slightly to the side. I'm gonna take a reverse table here. So inhale, lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Option to let your head be heavy and look back if that feels good on your neck. Otherwise, look straight ahead. Exhale, you slowly lower. Again, inhale, reverse table. Lift your hips, lift your gaze. See if you can lift your hips a little higher. Use your strong inner thigh muscles to keep your knees about hip-width distance apart. And exhale, you slowly lower. Beautiful. We're gonna extend our left leg long on the mat. Take your right foot and place it on the outside of your left foot. I'm gonna bring our right hand behind us like a kickstand. Reach up with your left hand, and as you exhale, we're gonna twist. Hook your left elbow on the outside of your right knee and twist. Maybe you gaze behind you. See if you can keep a long, straight spine. And we'll slowly unwind. We're gonna let your knee fall out to the side so you're in figure 4 position. And then if you can, this is a great stretch, you can stay right here. Otherwise, we're gonna bend our left knee, place the sole of your foot on the mat. It doesn't have to be all the way up towards your belly. This is a great stretch. So we're just in a supine, or not supine, rather seated figure 4. Press your right foot out towards the right. See if you can sit up tall. If you need to sit back, that's fine too. Just getting a stretch across that glute. Beautiful, and we'll unhook our leg. Place both soles of your feet onto the earth. Again, reverse tabletop here. We're gonna place our hands behind us. Take a big inhale, lift those hips up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, we'll slowly lower down. So moving with our breath here. As you inhale, you lift those hips up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, you slowly lower down. One more time, reverse table. Big inhale, fill all the way up. Keep breathing, keep breathing. When you reach the top of your inhale, you reach the top of your pose. As you exhale, you slowly lower down. Beautiful. We'll extend our right foot. Place the sole of your left foot on the outside of your right leg. Left hand behind you as a kickstand. Reach up with your right hand. As you exhale, hook your right elbow on the outside of your left knee and you twist. And slowly unwind. I'm going to keep our legs in this figure 4 position. And then if you can, this is perfectly fine if this is giving you a good stretch. Otherwise, we're going to grab our thigh, place the sole of your right foot on the mat. Option to grab behind your thigh. You can place your hands behind you like kickstands. Just send your left knee out to the side. Flex your left foot rather. And breathe. We'll slowly unwind. Place the sole of your left foot on the earth. Reach your fingers towards the front of your space. As you exhale, we'll slowly come down to a lying position. Nice. Hug both knees into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. As you exhale, we're going to find supine twist. Arms out to the side. Let your knees fall over to the left. Maybe you imagine you're in that twisted chair. You can look over to the left, you can look over to the right, you can look straight up. Notice what your neck needs. On your next inhale, we'll come back to center. Give yourself a big hug. And as you exhale, we'll let those knees fall over to the right. Then at this point, you should be allowing gravity to do the work. Allow your body to find a little rest and stillness. And we'll inhale back to center. Give yourself a big hug. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, we'll find happy baby. So you grab the outer blades of your feet, pull your knees down by your side. If it feels good, you can rock from side to side. We'll take one more big breath in here. And as you exhale, we're going to hug our knees to our chest. Give yourself one more big squeeze. Take a big inhale. Maybe you practice that crouch and curl position. And as you exhale, we'll find Shavasana. Legs extend long on the mat, heels in, toes out, palms face up by your side. Take any wiggles you need to get perfectly comfortable. If it feels good, you can sit up for Shavasana. If you like to lay, please stay there. I will take a seated Shavasana today. Allow your mind to trace your breath. Let go of all the things that we need to do in the day, all the projects, tasks, to-do lists. And give your body time to slow down, to breathe, to be present. Oftentimes, being slow is so much harder than moving a million miles an hour, than multitasking. See if you can take a deep breath. Scan your body. If there's any tension anywhere, allow that to release. And give yourself permission to be still. I will guide you out of Shavasana when it's time, but until then, just rest. On your next inhale, we'll breathe a little deeper. Start bringing attention back to your breath, back to your body. No rush. Take your time. When you're ready, we'll start to bring movement back to your fingers and toes. Maybe you blink your eyes open and close. You can rock your head from side to side. Whatever sweet, subtle movements you need to start giving your body signals to wake up. No rush. Again, moving slow and with your breath, we're going to take an inhale and take a full body stretch, reaching your fingers towards the back of your space, your toes towards the front of your space. If you're seated, maybe you just take a big inhale and lengthen. And as you exhale, you hug those knees into your chest, roll onto your favorite side of your body for fetal position. Pause here. Just take a moment, grateful for our ability to breathe, our ability to slow down, to move intentionally. As always, I encourage you to take whatever you gathered on your mat today into your life. Yoga is more than just a practice on your mat. Perhaps you need to practice intentional slowness in other areas of your life. And if you don't, that's okay too. When you're ready, you'll press yourself up to a seated position, facing the front of your space. You can sit on your heels, or you can sit Sukhasana, easy pose like me. Wherever you are, sit up tall. Take one big breath in, one big breath out. We're going to draw those hands to our heart center one last time. Lift your heart up to your hands and press your thumbs into your chest. Feel your heartbeat. And then we'll draw those prayer hands up to your third eye, just that space right between your eyebrows. The light, the love, the teacher and the student in me sees and bows to the light, the love, the teacher and the student of each of you. It's been an honor to practice with you guys today. We'll bow together. Namaste. Thank you guys again for practicing with me in this slow flow, which is often harder than our faster paced vinyasa. So appreciate your time, appreciate your energy, and I am looking forward to seeing you again the next time on your mat. And until then, take care.